He made a wish on a broken chicken bone. One wish. That's all it took. He wished for a girl to love him, only him. And she did. She loved him so much that she killed his mother. She loved him so much that she tortured his sister until her mind shattered. She loved him so much that she murdered anyone and everyone he cared about. And she would have kept killing until there was nothing left but the two of them, alone together in a cage of obsession. But here's the thing. Nobody tells you about wishes. They don't just come true. They transform you. They change the world. They create consequences that ripple outward and destroy everything in their path. This is the story of how one desperate teenager's wish created a curse so twisted, so all-consuming, so absolutely inescapable that by the end, he realized he doomed not just himself, but every person who would ever dare to love him. This is the story of obsession, of loneliness, of what happens when you're so desperate to be seen that you're willing to destroy reality itself just to matter to someone. This is the story of Marcus and Sophia, and the curse that will never, ever let him go. If you're listening right now, help me prove something wrong. My mother said I wouldn't even reach 500 subscribers, but I believe stories like this deserve to be heard. Help me show her that these tales matter. This is where it all comes to its breaking point. 3:47 in the morning, a bedroom door, and outside that door, someone who loves him so much that she's willing to kill everyone he's ever cared about to keep him. "Let me in," she whispers, her voice cracking with desperation. "Please, why won't you let me in?" The scratching becomes more frantic. Nails on wood, over and over. His name being called, not shouted, but whispered. Whispered like a prayer, whispered like a threat. Inside the room, Marcus sits on his bed, trembling. 16 years old. A lifetime of invisibility about to become a lifetime of obsession. He doesn't answer. He can't answer, because anything he says will only make it worse. "I love you," she continues. And there's something deeply wrong with how she says it. Not romantic, not vulnerable, possessive, like she owns him, like he's already hers and he just doesn't know it yet. "I only love you. Why are you doing this to me?" The door rattles. She's throwing her weight against it now. The hinges creak, not much longer until it gives way. Then, suddenly, her voice changes. The pleading stops, and what replaces it is ice cold and absolutely terrifying. "If you leave this room, someone else dies." Marcus freezes. His heart stops. In the distance, the unmistakable sound of screeching tires, metal crunching, a car crash, screaming, a woman screaming. The scratching at the door stops. Silence. Then her voice again, almost cheerful now. "That's number 3. Your mother, your sister, and now someone else. Someone will keep dying, Marcus. Not today, maybe not tomorrow, but every single day you deny me, another person falls. A friend, a stranger, someone at school, someone you accidentally make eye contact with." Marcus's hands shake uncontrollably. He grabs his phone with trembling fingers and checks the news. A fatal car accident on Riverside Road, just 2 miles from his house. 1 dead, female victim, details pending. "But come out," she whispers from the other side of the door. "Come out and be with me. Tell me you love me. Make this stop. Please, Marcus, I'm begging you. Just tell me you love me." But here's the thing Marcus finally understands in this moment at 3:47 a.m. Even if he tells her, even if he opens that door and says exactly what she needs to hear, it will never be enough. Because what Sophia feels isn't love. It's hunger. And she's still starving. 3 weeks earlier, Marcus would have given anything to be noticed. Anything at all. His name was Marcus Chen, 16 years old, 5'11", brown hair that he never did anything interesting with. He wore the same jeans as 50 other boys in his school, the same brand of sneakers, the same generic hoodies. He was the definition of average. And in a school of 2,000 students, an average meant invisible. He wasn't bullied. That would have required someone to actually acknowledge his existence. Instead, he was simply ignored. When he raised his hand in class, teachers looked through him. When he walked through hallways, students parted around him like water around a stone. He was background noise in everyone's life. The extra body in the cafeteria. The kid who existed but didn't matter. His parents loved him. His little sister Emma adored him. He had decent grades, decent hygiene, and decent prospects for a decent future. But none of that mattered. Because at 16, being decent is the worst thing you can possibly be. Decent doesn't get noticed. Decent doesn't get remembered. Decent just gets erased. Marcus spent his lunches in the library, eating alone while scanning the cafeteria through the glass partition. He watched other boys joke with their friends, make girls laugh, get into easy conversations without trying. He watched and he wondered what was wrong with him. Was it his voice? Was he too quiet? Was he too boring? Did he say the wrong things? Did he laugh at the wrong moments? He'd never kissed a girl. He'd never been to a party where people actually wanted him there. He'd never known what it felt like to be desired, to be wanted, to be the center of someone's universe. That's what made her so devastating when she finally appeared in his orbit. Sophia Chen. No relation, which hurt somehow, like the universe was playing a joke. She was everything Marcus wasn't. Beautiful in a way that made other girls' envy visible. Rich in a way that wasn't subtle. Popular in the way that only truly confident people can be. Not mean. Just entirely unaware that other people existed outside of her social circle. She didn't know Marcus existed. He was sure of it. She'd walked past him 1,000 times without seeing him once. He was obsessed with her in the way invisible people become obsessed. Desperately, secretly, with all the intensity of someone who has nothing else to focus on. He'd memorized her schedule. He knew her favorite coffee order. He'd listened to conversations she had in the hallway and stored them away like treasures. He never spoke to her, never tried. He already knew the answer. She wouldn't even see him. But that night, holding the wishbone, he decided to change that. The family dinner was normal. Too normal. His mother had made roasted chicken, and she'd spent most of the meal talking about her shift at the hospital. The usual stories of difficult patients and kind colleagues. His father half listened while scrolling through his phone. Emma was texting under the table, which their parents pretended not to notice. It was the kind of dinner that happens thousands of times in thousands of homes. Unremarkable. Forgettable. The kind of moment that no one thinks will matter. "Oh, Marcus, save the wishbone." His mother reached across the table, extracting the delicate bone from the chicken carcass. "You know the tradition?" Marcus shook his head. He did know the tradition. He'd just never paid attention to it before. "Two people pull it," Emma said, her eyes suddenly bright with mischief. "Whoever gets the bigger piece gets to make a wish." "So what are you going to wish for, bro? A girlfriend?" Their parents laughed. Emma laughed. It was meant to be gentle teasing, but to Marcus, it felt like the universe confirming what he already knew. Everyone saw through him, straight to his loneliness. His mother wrapped the wishbone in paper towels and handed it to him. "For later," she said. "Find someone to pull it with. Maybe that girl you like?" Marcus felt his face burn. He didn't respond. He just slipped the wishbone into his hoodie pocket. That night, after everyone had gone to bed. He sat at his desk at 2:17 a.m., unable to sleep. The wishbone sat in front of him, fragile and small. He'd done something foolish. He'd looked up Sophia's Instagram again, memorizing the curve of her smile, the way she tilted her head in photos. He told himself he didn't believe in wishes. He was 16, old enough to know that magic wasn't real. Superstitions were for desperate people, for hopeless people, for people with nothing left to lose. He picked up the wishbone. His hands were shaking, not from cold, from desperation, from the kind of bone-deep loneliness that makes you do things you'll regret forever. "I wish," he whispered, "that she loved me. Only me. No one else. Just me." The bone snapped cleanly. For a moment, nothing happened. The room was silent. The darkness was absolute. It felt like the universe had heard him and rejected him completely. Then, without explanation, the lights flickered. Once, twice. The wind outside suddenly picked up, rattling the window. Rain began to fall, not gradually, but all at once, like someone had turned on a faucet in the sky. Marcus looked down at the broken wishbone in his hands, and he had no way of knowing that he'd just cursed both himself and an innocent girl. If you're feeling this story already, don't forget to like and subscribe for more dark tales that will keep you up at night. He'd created a monster, and now she was coming for him. The next morning, Marcus expected nothing. He expected the wish to mean nothing. He expected to walk into school invisible, as always. Instead, at 7:43 a.m., as he stood at his locker, Sophia Chen stopped walking and turned around. Her eyes found him instantly, like they'd been searching for him their entire lives. Like she'd always known exactly where to look. "Hey," she said, and her voice was different than he'd ever heard it. Not the confident, practiced tone she used with her friends. This was intimate, raw, like she was speaking to him from somewhere deep inside her chest. "I don't know you." Marcus's heart stopped. He couldn't breathe. She was speaking to him, actually looking at him. He searched for words and found nothing. "But I feel like I should," she continued, stepping closer. "Is that weird? I feel like I've been looking for you my whole life." Something was wrong with her expression. Her smile was too intense. Her eyes held something that looked almost predatory. But Marcus was so starved for attention, so desperate to be noticed, that he ignored the warning signs completely. "I'm Marcus," he managed. "Sophia," she said, reaching out and touching his arm. Her grip was firm, possessive. "I like you. I don't even know why. But I do." Over the next 3 days, she became a presence in his life that felt like possession. She texted him constantly, on strings of messages that came at all hours. "Can't stop thinking about you. Where are you? Tell me you're thinking about me. You're the only thing that matters." At first, he loved it. Finally, someone saw him. Finally, he mattered. Finally, he was the center of someone's universe. But by day 4, the feeling shifted. She started appearing everywhere. Outside his last class, outside his house. She knew things she shouldn't have known: his schedule, his favorite lunch table, the coffee shop he sometimes studied in. She didn't just follow him. She studied him, like she was collecting data on the object of her obsession. The texts became more intense, demanding. "Do you love me? Say you love me. If you don't love me, what's the point of any of this?" When he didn't respond fast enough, the messages shifted. "Why are you ignoring me? Are you with someone else? I swear, Marcus, if you're with someone else, I don't know what I'll do." He tried to be kind. He tried to explain that he barely knew her, that you couldn't love someone you'd just met. that this wasn't normal. But Sophia didn't understand reason. Sophia only understood need, and she needed him with an intensity that was starting to terrify him. His mother was hit by a car on Tuesday afternoon. She was walking home from work, crossing Riverside Street like she had 1,000 times before, when a vehicle came out of nowhere. No one saw it coming. No witnesses were able to provide a description. The driver never stopped. She was pronounced dead at the scene. The police called it a hit and run. The insurance company would call it an accident. But Marcus knew the truth. He knew exactly who had done it. He knew because Sophia had told him. The day after his mother died, while he was sitting in the hospital waiting room numb with shock, Sophia walked through the door. She moved toward him with the confidence of someone who belonged there. She sat next to him. She took his hand. "Now, nothing will come between us," she'd whispered. Marcus had turned to her, his eyes hollow with understanding. "You killed her." "You made me," Sophia had replied calmly, rationally, as if she was explaining basic math. "You wished for me to love only you, so I did. And when you tried to reject that love, you left me no choice." She'd kissed his forehead. "There will be more," she'd said. "Your father, your sister, everyone you love, until you accept the truth." And the worst part was that Marcus believed her completely. For the next week, Marcus moved through his mother's funeral like a ghost. He stood at the grave. He shook hands. He accepted condolences from people who didn't know what they were talking about. And the entire time, Sophia was there. In the back of the church, at the cemetery, watching, waiting. That's when Marcus understood. The wish had created something that couldn't be stopped by normal means. Sophia wasn't mentally ill. She wasn't a stalker who could be restrained by a restraining order. She was cursed, bound by his own words to an obsession that could never be satisfied. And he'd created her. He tried everything. He tried to avoid her. She found him anyway. He tried to tell the school counselor. She was too smart, too polished, not too perfect to be accused of anything. He tried calling the police with his suspicions. Without evidence, they dismissed him as a grieving teenager spiraling. He tried to find the wishbone, hoping that destroying it would break the curse. But it was gone, thrown away days ago, lost in the regular trash pickup. The only thing that remained was the consequence of his desperate wish. And Sophia, watching from the shadows, waiting for him to finally surrender. This is the moment Marcus realizes his wish wasn't fantasy. It was a curse. Subscribe now to see if he'll survive what comes next. Sophia's next target was Emma. She disappeared on a Thursday evening, just vanished from her bedroom while Marcus was doing homework downstairs. The window was open. Her phone was on the bed, untouched. Her shoes were by the door. For 3 days, no one knew where she was. Marcus knew. He could feel it in his bones. Sophia had her. Sophia was keeping her somewhere dark and cold and terrifying, doing God knows what, breaking her mind, remaking her into something damaged. When the police found Emma in an abandoned warehouse on the city's edge, she was alive, but something fundamental had shifted inside her. She wouldn't speak, she wouldn't eat. She just stared at the wall, her eyes moving constantly, like she was watching something invisible. The doctor said it was trauma, post-traumatic stress. Time would heal her. Marcus knew better. He visited her in the hospital, and she whispered to him. She was there the whole time. The beautiful girl. She said terrible things. She said I was taking you away from her. She said she'd have to hurt me to make you understand. She said love means never letting go, even if it kills everything around you. Emma's voice was hollow, empty. Sophia hadn't just scared her. She'd rewritten parts of her consciousness. That night, Marcus received a text. "Your sister needed to learn a lesson. The next one will be your father, unless you decide to stop resisting me." He texted back, "I can't love you. I don't even know you." The response was immediate. "Then everyone dies, one by one. I'll give you a choice each time. Submit or I kill again. Eventually, you'll run out of people to lose. And I'll still be here, loving you, keeping you, forever." Marcus realized that night that the curse had no exit. There was no wish he could make that would undo this. There was no love he could fake that would satisfy her. Sophia was a living embodiment of his own desperate words, and those words had created something that could never be fulfilled, never be appeased, never be stopped. She would keep killing because that's what the curse demanded. She would keep taking things from him because it was the only way to feed her obsession. And eventually, when everyone else was gone, she'd take him too. The only way to stop her was to become her, or to destroy her. And Marcus was running out of time to decide which. The text came on a Friday night. Riverside High, the old gymnasium. "Come alone. Midnight. Or your father dies in his sleep tonight." Marcus read the message 3 times, his entire body going cold. He looked at his father sleeping peacefully in the living room, completely unaware that his life had an expiration date. He grabbed his jacket. He didn't leave a note. There was no explanation he could give that would make sense. The old gymnasium was a hollow shell of concrete and darkness. Sophia was waiting for him in the center of the floor, illuminated by a single shaft of moonlight from a broken skylight. She was beautiful. That was the worst part. Even now, knowing what she was capable of, she was still impossibly beautiful. "You came," she said softly, like she'd won something precious. "Why are you doing this?" Marcus asked, even though he knew the answer. "Because," Sophia said, moving toward him with predatory grace, "you made me this way. You wished for me to love you and only you. So I do. Every second of every day, I love you. It's destroying me. Every moment without you, I feel like I'm suffocating. Every moment with you, I need more. It's like addiction, like starvation, like a disease that has no cure." She pulled out a knife. It caught the light, turning silver. "Here's your choice," she continued. "Tell me you love me. Look me in the eyes and mean it. Tell me that I'm the only person you could ever love, and I'll stop. Your father lives. Your sister gets her mind back. Your life continues. And if I don't," Marcus whispered. "Then," Sophia said calmly, "I kill him tonight. I'll take everyone from you until there's only me left. And when there's no one else to hurt, I'll hurt you. Slowly. For as long as you'll let me. Because I'd rather torture you than live without you." Marcus realized in that moment that there was no winning this. If he said yes, he'd spend his entire life imprisoned by her obsession. If he said no, everyone he loved would die. The curse offered no escape. "Say it," Sophia whispered, moving closer. "Tell me you love me." The knife hung between them like a period at the end of a sentence. And Marcus understood that whatever he said next would determine not just his future, but whether he would still be human when it was over. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for the climax. Marcus stared at the knife. Then he stared at Sophia. What he saw wasn't a girl anymore. What he saw was a thing. Something hollow and consuming and utterly incapable of being satisfied. The curse hadn't just twisted her desire. It had replaced her entire identity with obsession. You know what the worst part is? Marcus said quietly. If I say I love you right now, it won't matter. You'll still feel empty. You'll still need more. Because this isn't love. This is hunger. And hunger can never be satisfied. For the first time, Sophia's confident expression flickered. That's not, it is. Marcus interrupted. The curse doesn't allow you to ever be happy with me. It only allows you to consume me. And it will keep consuming until there's nothing left. Not just of me, of everyone I ever cared about. He took a step toward her. The only way to break this is to destroy you. Sophia's grip on the knife tightened. You wouldn't dare. But as Marcus moved closer, something shifted in his pocket. His fingers found something smooth and solid, the other half of the wishbone. He'd found it weeks ago in the trash outside his house. He'd kept it, hoping against hope that it might be the key to breaking this curse. The other fragment of bone, separated at the moment he'd made his wish, in the physical manifestation of his desperation. He pulled it out. I wish that you never loved me, Marcus said, his voice steady. I wish that I'd never made this wish at all. I wished for this curse to end. He broke the wishbone. For a moment, nothing happened. Then Sophia's eyes went blank. The intensity drained from her face completely. She looked at him like she'd never seen him before in her entire life. Who are you? She asked, confused. The curse broke, but Marcus felt no relief. Because breaking the curse didn't mean escaping it. It only meant that the darkness he'd released was still out there, still hungry, still looking for a host. And if a curse is powerful enough, it doesn't just disappear. It finds someone new. He walked out of that gymnasium alone, free from Sophia's obsession, but haunted by what he'd done, by what he'd created, by the knowledge that somewhere, somehow, another girl was about to become the next victim of his own desperate words. The curse was still alive. It had just changed targets. 1 week later, Marcus returned to school. He'd prepared himself for a return to invisibility. He'd prepared himself to be erased once again, to fade back into the background noise of high school existence. Part of him almost wanted it. Invisibility had been safe, anonymous. No one had demanded anything from him when no one could see him. But something had changed. The wish had changed him. Even with the curse broken, something fundamental had shifted inside his consciousness. He'd tasted what it was like to matter. He'd experienced the dark side of being wanted. And that hunger, that need to be seen, to be important, like to be the center of someone's world, was still living inside him. He was walking to second period when he saw her. She was in the hallway near the library, beautiful in a different way than Sophia. Dark hair instead of blonde, different friends, different vibe. But as she passed Marcus in the hallway, she stopped walking. She turned around. Her eyes found his, and they held that same intensity, that same hunger, that same thing he'd seen in Sophia's eyes before everything fell apart. I don't know you, she said, moving toward him with a smile that was already too familiar, too intimate, too possessive. But I feel like I should. Marcus's blood ran cold. No, he whispered. No, this isn't possible. The curse is broken. The girl tilted her head, confused. What are you talking about? But Marcus understood, and the curse hadn't come from the wishbone. It had come from him, from the darkness inside him, from his desperation and his loneliness and his obsessive need to be loved. The bone was just a conduit, a vessel for something much deeper. As long as that darkness lived inside Marcus's heart, the curse would never truly die. It would reset. it would find new hosts. It would create new obsessions, new victims, new monsters born from his own twisted desire to be wanted. He looked at the girl standing in front of him, and he realized with absolute certainty that he would have to isolate himself completely. He would have to spend the rest of his life alone, cut off from any connection, any relationship, any chance at normal human intimacy. Because anything else would create another curse, another Sophia, another person trapped in obsessive love because he was too broken, too desperate, too hungry to be seen. "I'm sorry," Marcus said to the girl, "but please, stop looking at me." And he walked away, leaving her confused and hurt, knowing that he just avoided creating another monster. But the curse remained, waiting, hungry, knowing that it would find him again eventually. Because loneliness is the most powerful curse of all, and Marcus would never be free of it. Thank you for watching. If this twisted tale of obsession and regret terrified you, please subscribe for more horror stories that will haunt your nightmares. Like this video, comment what you thought about the curse, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a new upload. The next story is darker than this one,